My position on like if America was Babylon, if America is Babylon, then you can understand exactly why she would get destroyed. She got a lot of symptoms of Babylon too. You know what I'm saying? And all like the last what? Really, all of them are kind of linked. All the dynasties are linked because all this was something that they never lost. They didn't abolish the other cultures and turn everybody into their culture. They didn't do that. What they did was they made a mashing, a mush of ideology. Even though they wasn't in control, they wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Long as they served all the gods, it was good. You know what I'm saying? Some of the kings try to portray themselves as gods, and then they built these big statues, and if you worship them, everything was good. As long as you worshipped all the gods. You know what I'm saying? This ideology has been around for a good minute. And why? Because if it it's kind of like God is not the one God, the one true God. That's what it's like. It's saying. That's why you can't worship no more than one, because if you got more, then it depreciate the other gods. Well, it depreciate the one God. And you gotta think about it. In his land, if it was just him, it depreciates his power, and it really is like a faction. But God say, boy, I made all this shit. Y'all gonna respect me straight up. He's the one. The other ones are just probably fallen angels and fallen deities. For one, why was so many? Why if it was so many of them? Like, you see how many gods it is? If it was so many of them, damn, I lost my point. I was trying to not to die on this game, but every time you depreciate each god, by the more you have. When you have one god, you consolidate it. That means power is not split; it's in one spot. They tried to create a notion where you can even become a god. You have power, and I would say you do have power on Earth. It's a physical thing. I mean, if you good at it, well, I ain't gonna say good at it. I wouldn't. You can't change time for one, but it's just some things that people can do that will change, like courses of history and shit. It really don't change the course of history now that I think about it, because if everything's happening again, that means even that happened. It was middlemen. Matter of fact, the old people used to create it. That's why they would take people from their kingdom, whichever one they like conquered and shit, and they would teach them their language, whatever was the smartest ones of them. Give them clothes like them so they could speak, so they could infiltrate, dog. All this is about infiltration. They had somebody from your faction speak your language and speak theirs. So now they can really tell you psychologically what they want. Because it's almost like you see your enemy. But when you look at yourself or the people that's like you, you don't see an enemy. And they used to create them. This is a story. They didn't make like the people in the Bible that, well, they did from some faction, but not just from God's faction. You know what I'm saying? It was people that went above and beyond. They was like, nah. Now we gotta be here, and you're gonna kill us if we don't learn. But at the same time, they was like, secretly, they wasn't trying to even worship. That's how they got in trouble in the first place. Because they They didn't believe in other gods. They only believed in one. It was all consolidated. Power was consolidated under one God. I think that's way more likely. I think God do have a council though, but it ain't nothing to say. Okay, it ain't nothing to say if God created the actual council, but He created with free will. But at the same time, you like, does anybody want to try this man? No, they ain't trying to try this man. He done turned the whole council into observers. They just watch. Every now and then he'll ask them a question or something. I wonder what they say. But that kind of, I mean, it's like he give you the liberty to state your opinion, but it's like, you know, he's 1,000 times smarter than you, 1,000,000,000,000 times smarter than you. So if you was in the council, you'd be like, what do you say? I don't know. I don't know what they say. It's not a thing where like he's oppressing your opinion. It's like, I don't know, man. You smarter than me, to be honest. And he is. If you've seen these long, drawn-out plans, it's just crazy because when you see it, you just looking at it at a page in a book. You can't see it in your imagination, all this stuff playing out. But that just makes God raw. But anyway, back to the America and the Babylon, right? I don't care about race too much, but we ain't gonna look at race. We're gonna look at simply actions. Okay, motherfucker came over here, goddamn. They said, hey, look, man, we trying to live over here. Really, a motherfucker said he discovered the shit when motherfuckers was already here and helped these motherfuckers live through the winter and the whole nine. Something sparked off. They had a beef. I don't know. I forget what the beef is. I think they said it, but they had a beef. There was some shit going down. You know what I'm saying? So these motherfuckers still played the nice game with them, and they hit them hard. They were giving them blankets and shit. It was a silent war. And were killing them off, and by the time these motherfuckers caught up to what they were doing, their numbers had been staggered. Then they was having babies too. This all took a long time, man. For real. At some point in time, they cut Britain off. They like, bitch, we can make it without you. For real. But ain't nobody can say if any of this was planned, because the end result is these motherfuckers are all friends. They're all friends because in some kind of way they all can. One broke away from another, and then it started spreading all everywhere. But anyway, this is how they manipulate things, folks. And this is how they get people not to believe the Bible in some sense. It's just like, because you got people calling the Bible a slave book. It said it was a servitude book. At least the New Testament did. But you're not serving man. You're not. You're doing something that somebody else asked you to do. Why? Because everybody cares about this life too much. And when I ain't gonna say you shouldn't care about your life, what I'm saying is you're concerned with things that don't matter. Life to live. And it got people so down that you got to look at it from a bigger. I'm trying to stay on point. You know what I'm saying? They split from them, right? They took on slaves. They had already reinterpreted the Bible. Why? Because I can tell you it's good for gathering. It's just good for it. They have been using religion all around the world. It's good for gathering. For real. But they lie. You can't do the New Testament and have slaves. And if you was in the Old Testament and you treated your slaves like the Lord said, these would not be your slaves anymore. They'll be your brothers. And even in their law, people could not be enslaved forever. I think the max was like 7 years. Now, the only way you can be enslaved, like destitute slave, like if you create your family through that, because of 7 years, you may be free, but your family got to do it 7. So if you stay, then everybody stays. That's not a bad deal. Look, check this out. The way people is selling they life out to this world, if you had a good master, you got fed. When I'm saying master, I ain't talking about like no slavery. I'm talking about shit get real. It ain't like today. When they say it's some cold goddamn winters and some hot ass summers, nigga, and you ain't have shit unless you built it. You ain't built it unless you knew. Or you know somebody that can. This was all about resources in the beginning. None of this is about money. All of this is still about resources. The only thing it is technology has crept in. I understand these are not necessities. But it don't matter. We are already overloaded with desire. As a whole. Not as an individual. You can make yourself better that way. But you ain't going to be able to do the world, so she's headed that way. I don't know what you call it. What, toxic desire or some shit? We want everything that everybody else got or that we see on TV. We just want that shit. We don't got no real reason for wanting it. But anyway, but I mean, to make a long story short, they never actually kept the book. If they was like really Jews or descendants of Jews, or they really even believed the book at the beginning, the Old Testament, it got rules to prove that these people didn't even keep it. They didn't keep the Old Testament nor the New. Because the New Testament, you can't have slaves. That man is now your brother. But this is what I'm saying. If you was a good person over somebody, even you can see that shit when like niggas go to jail and shit. It'd be good COs, dog. COs that just let you do your time. They ain't with the bullshit. And you got COs that gonna fuck with you. Sing to the whole, whoop your ass. Do the whole 9. So if you like, man, I'm cool with the nigga. For real. I think people do understand it's just a job, but I think when you dealing with that much violence, I don't think no talking gonna do. I'm sorry to say, even for prisoners, because there's a lot of people that don't rock like that in the jail system. America is creating something, and if you ain't that, you gonna fall by the wayside. But I done went way off topic. That shit got too many strings to it. But because I keep wanting to go into each individual, and I just don't got time for that. You'll never see the shit. You know what I'm saying? These people, they never kept the Bible at all. Every rule, all the way down to the fucking gardening. He said, man, what is it? Farm the land for 6 years, and then let 1 year for the animals to eat. They killing the animals, but ain't no replenishing going on. And that's a whole nother other subject. Why God says stuff. He don't just say stuff because he's saying stuff. This is the way that world was built, and this is what it takes to maintain it. That is reality. You know what I'm saying? We just don't understand why he's saying stuff till like thousands of years later. Then we're like, okay, we get it now. But America and Babylon, okay. So they ain't kept none of the book, right? But not only are they doing that, they got the same. Okay, if they manipulated and used the Bible, wouldn't you say that these some sick individuals? Because they dislike the Bible behind closed doors. They doing everything to not break it, because that's just breaking it. They trying to shatter it. They don't like God. But they understand religion. That's why so many evil men run behind it, religion. That's why they doing it. They ain't doing it to escape. They doing it to control the minds of men. And they've been doing this for a while. That's why the Old Testament in some sense got done away with. It's because people had figured out how to manipulate it and use it for their own. He says it. They was using the law against God. They was using the law of God against people. The same thing that these people that get, you know what I'm saying, these people that get all their money to the church and shit like that. They're preventing because they believe this, and the church is supposed to perform this. But it'll never be no performing. It'll just be, see you next Sunday. Bring your pocketbook. Because the churches, along with the money they have, could do it. And that's how you know it ain't real. Man, you see the numbers they throwing around from these churches? Your pastor, I don't know how. And why would God care about the material world? Why does it have to be a Bentley? See, that's what I'm saying, folks. I already know. I probably ain't ready for no conversation like that, though. That shit just frustrate me. Demons just going loose. You can't ask the man no question because the demon got that shit just going in the loop. You'll be able to make them mad, but it's just like they ain't gonna do nothing but give you the same answer. That's some demonic shit. To be a charlatan and rip God off. But really, I can't say a charlatan. Because I imagine that God was talking to him at some point in time. God used to talk to the devil at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, it was real. I don't know. God know his people. He know. I know if you feel like that and your conscience hits you like what you have done, that shit would be mind blowing. God don't want you to rip him off $1. You can't, in all honesty, you can't rip God off. I think all that tithing and all that stuff, that was for something else. That's for older time. But just sheer helping people is part of God's plan. And don't helping people cost money? In this finite world, it does. So I don't know. Especially since the house. Where is the house of God now? It's in your hearts. And you're going to, a lot of people, if you wake up, a lot of people are going to understand that. He had to take it away from the world because they kept trying to manipulate it. So he asked you the simpler of the simplest thing. And you want to know something that's hard to do? How to make one covenant not break the other. Because actually, the second covenant complements the first. He was saying, do this to be right, but now you will do this because you love your brother. It actually come. You can't. That's some kind of mind entanglement. But he said, I ain't coming to do away with it. Oh, he didn't. What contradicts, you know what I'm saying, the Old Testament? You got to remember, God did all of this because he loved his people. But you got to understand the way spiritual or ideas or mentalities work. If you understand that, he was trying to stop an infection. And only God can pull some shit off like that. He made everybody. If he wanted to kill a few people, are you going to tell him it's wrong? And if you are, tell him to his face. And really, he was trying to clean up all the messes that his people were making. When they could have been done with it. It was going to be one straight kill. Go in there. We don't want nothing. We don't want the gold. We don't want the cattle. We don't want none of the women. We don't want the children. We don't want nothing. Point blank, period. But when they did not do this and they failed, they honestly failed God at that point. But God is tricky. Because everything that you be meaning for bad, in some kind of way, he makes it good for someone else. So they're intermingling with these people. Now, does God bloodline go away? No, it just expanded. That's why God said they'll always be among you. Because now you got them in your bloodline. Now their mentalities ain't your mentalities because you didn't train them. And there's probably a lot of other reasons that we don't know. We don't know why God, that don't mean he's a tyrant. What if they had some disease that they, you know what I'm saying, God didn't want them to catch? You got to think bigger than that. Because you got to think about it, God could have just killed them himself. But all of this has been about like a physical thing. In a spiritual sense, we already know who's the head there. But I don't think it was like because Satan was jealous of us. And nah. I think it's simply because Satan wants to be God. And it's funny because that's the type of stuff God say. All that hatred, they don't hate you. They hate me. For whatever reason, people can power reasons of why they hate God. But it's just like, if you look at it, they really do. You ain't even gotta say nothing about God. Just do his traits. Do his traits, and I guarantee you people hate him. If you just love people and love God, I guarantee you, you're gonna end up in some shit like for real. Like if you just that, like you may not believe it. You ain't gotta say nothing about just be good with people. Treat people right, and they'll still hate. That's the craziest thing ever. But it's not bothering them on a physical level. It's almost like reflection. It's just like when you see it on a physical level. You look at him, he doing it. He's smaller than me. He ain't got a voice like me, but he doing it. Why I can't do it? And it bothered him mentally. Why I'm not that nice? Why my soul ain't in peace? They niggas just start asking crazy ass questions. For real. But I don't. I think they hate it, but I don't think they could not want to be around it. It's the strangest relationship because if you're around it, then you can feel it, but you can't stand it because you don't possess it. That shit, that's some deep shit. Tag that. That's some deep shit. Motherfuckers, it's just like I don't want to use girls or shit like that as a what's collar, but a motherfucker don't have love in his life. Maybe he got a girl or a relationship, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he don't have love, and he just got it. He can feel it coming off of them. But he's upset because he don't possess it. It's not about wanting his girl. He don't possess that connection. He wish he had that connection with his girl. So he wanna be around it, but he hate it. Like that's a mixed emotion because he don't possess it. It's almost like going to a mansion every day or somebody wine and dine you, but every night you gotta go home. It start goddamn how you not appreciating the shit you got. Cause the man that didn't have none of that, he like, damn, I wish I just had that. But you on the mansion shit, you done went to sleep, you dreaming about the mansion. That shit is so crazy how this life works, man. Everything that seems like whatever they told you, just whatever they told you, man. They said they primitives. Boy, we is going backwards. Motherfuckers used to couldn't write, read, and spell and shit. Man, I'm telling you, they want to stick something in your head. Hey, look, the only way to go to the next level is to put this shit in your brain. And I'm telling you, people are so fucking gullible, they'll do it. That amazes me. I don't like when they take my blood. Why? Because God said the life is in the blood. Then you be finding out these motherfuckers are doing all kind of shit with your blood. Back then they used to bathe in motherfuckers' blood. What the fuck? Might be something to this thing that God is saying. Hey, and then all the symbols is just fucked up, man. I like who comes up with these symbols. I'm talking about the symbol for medicine in America is two snakes going up across a cross. It's like these people, out of everything, you want to use a snake in the cross, huh? I don't think you should think that way. I don't think you should abolish churches either, though. I don't think that's the problem. The problem is it's been invaded, and I'm guarantee you a lot of people believe they would leave if a real one ever stepped into the building. That they would leave because it. I'm gonna try to break that down because I don't want to sound stupid. All right, Jesus said love, right? Create strong bonds. Why? Because you finna have to weather a storm. These people, they'll tell you to go against this. This is all about your soul. That's bogus. Okay, he say those who he said free are free indeed. You can't be looking over your shoulder every 15 minutes, but you got to know when you've done something wrong. So let's clear that matter up. They are particularly dividing the people by religion. And the New Testament is, that's why you don't like to use it. The New Testament is not even about religion. It got 2 rules to it. It took 10 and compressed them into 2. Love God, love your neighbor. That's the other motherfuckers that you see every day. And if you can, but you know what I'm saying, he throws love God in there because that gotta happen first before you could even try to show love to people. That's what all this control is about. That's why they want to control everything they do. That is not real love. It's just not. If you're controlling people, you will never siphon off love. I put it like this. Love don't come from training at the beginning. Almost every child you know most likely is going, well, older generation, this new one going, wow. But they would say, damn, them motherfuckers was an you don't appreciate the shit till way later. Ain't no love in that. Hey, look, when the training's done, that means your work for now is done. And that's the only window that you got to really train a bitch. Otherwise, it's like manipulation and trickery. Once they get their own mind, they're going to be responsible for themselves. And that don't mean you should stop helping them. I understand they used to do some harsh ass shit. It was some harsh ass times. Right now, the system is killing everybody. And the only thing that they need to do is stick together. Then they'll be able to weather the storm. That's all they got to do. All you got to do is love motherfuckers. That's it. You might not have the food, but someone else will. You might not have the money, but someone else will. You know what I'm saying? It's not about trying. No, it's everybody coming together to achieve a goal. And I think we've lost that. This used to be embedded in our families. They ask these days. They ask you to pick a trade. No, you would jump off with a trade. Why? You would always do what your father did. And women, and the crazy part, it is way more women that don't want to work. I ain't got no problem against you not working. You know what I'm saying? If you love your man, he'll do that shit. He'll work 2 of them motherfuckers. He don't give a fuck. But if he come home and get that good loving, something to eat, make his day. Every day ain't gonna go like that. But shit, a woman know how to play her cards. When he's not happy, how do I make him happy? It ain't gonna always be sex, but she'll know the man by this time. You know what I'm saying? That ain't God's structure. The reason I say that, I don't say that just willy-nilly. God's structure was good. Everything that God created was good. They turning their back on it. But you're having society have a meltdown over something that ain't even that fucking big. It's definitely growing at a rapid rate, but it's just not even that big, dude. But they done got us so everybody, like, a nigga said that, and I just think that's true. Women, they search less for love and more for resources. For real. It's a resource thing. And they try to use the government, but that shit, that's why they be killing these babies. Why they ain't tough skin, like, you know what I'm saying, well, mama, I'm gonna do this shit. It's a few of them now. But damn, it's not gonna be easy. It just ain't. Especially if you have them real close. You can't be your child friend until about 30. It just ain't gonna happen. You can't be your child friend until your child wake up. It's just not healthy. Why? Because you're gonna make them break shit. For real. If they feel you as an equal, they're gonna try you. That respect is not there. Shit, at this point, around about 18, 22, 25, niggas is trying the whole world. Shit, if they made it past 22, they in this life, sometimes they be trying to calm down. It's like, God damn, I'd have been in 2 shootouts, I'd have been shot once, I need to chill my ass out. That's the life they living now. No training. Everybody just running to get the bag. The bag, man, I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck money is. But it's not what they tell us, dog. Motherfuckers is out here selling their souls for this shit. When everybody knows, it don't even fucking matter, man, if you're rich or not. Now, conserving is good. It is. But how do you conserve it in a thievery world would be your problem. You know what I'm saying? Conserving always helps. But any person that knows this life, knows that money comes and money goes. If you got a lot of it, it moves like that. If you got a little bit of it, it moves like that. It don't make a difference. It just moves like that. If you're good at saving on a low scale, you'll be good. But if you're good at saving when you're a millionaire, you'll be good. It's the same shit, but money's gonna fly. But all of the stuff that they're stacking, money is not what it was. Money was a way to trade things across long distances so they ain't had to give it to it. So yeah, we can keep the trust on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But what it done changed into now, I seriously think they worship this. And people that think that they don't worship this shit probably worship it more. Because that shit ain't hitting your conscience. It ain't hitting your ceiling. For real. But I'm trying to tell you, if you think you don't care about money and all the or at least 70% of the arguments that you have with people is about money, you love money, man. It's just true. But that's like, seriously, I don't have arguments over money. Either I got it or I don't. I use that shit on bill collector. That's your yay be yay, your nay be nay. If I don't contact you, I don't got it. For real, you can send all the letters you want. But see, that's the whole thing. It's a whole mind thing. It's not only mind, they're going to try to enforce it some way. Why do you think they keep taking all these numbers for these medical bills and shit? Because they're going to make it to where you got to pay and they know nobody can do that, but that's the point. All this has happened before. It just, I don't know. I don't even know what you think. Joseph put their ass through it, but he knew he had to stay in his position. Cause boy, they was selling their houses for grain, all the land and animals. They was like, look, we ain't got nothing, bro. Straight up. Joseph prospered from this heavily. Also his brothers, but probably from that same reaction. See what happens. God don't even say nothing about that. He probably don't even catch that. But you see, he prospered with his family for a minute, and then you fast forward. What is it to who is it that's right after them? But the same thing happened again. They started multiplying too much, so they went to killing them again. Even though he prospered through that, because that's the tricky one, dude. He did. He put Joseph in all of his affairs, and that gotta hurt. You just watch all the people just said everything just to eat. That's how he found his brothers. They were selling, but they had that bank though. But they ended up getting all their money back. You wanna know why they had that bank? Because there was a family that stuck together. For real. They slaves wasn't like they slaves. Slaves knew that they were slaves, but they were like their friends, man. For real. Nigga was dead serious. You talk about killing a bitch of Israelite. A good one too. That nigga treat me right, let me do whatever the fuck. I don't be giving a damn. I know I'm a slave, but I feel fucking free. That nigga across the sea to come get me. Me. I don't know. They just felt like that because they was like friends, man. They be like, why the fuck is you coming all the way over here for the slave? I gotta be whole, goddamn. A part of me is missing. And I would like it back, please. But if you didn't like it, I'm sorry you had to do that little 7-year pen. That little bid. But niggas probably still didn't leave. Like I said, it was 7 years. Where you gonna go? You know what, man? I ain't never even thought of that. For real. You see it in reverse psychology already with this nation. I might say that's some controversial shit, but I'm saying at what risk we accepted their ideology. I guess in that same sense, but I don't know if you want to be an American, dog. At least not on spiritual paper. Cause God gonna be like, you with them niggas? Are you with them? You sure you won't be with them now? I am not affiliated with these boys right here, boy. But it ain't even happen like that. All this is ordained. But that I guess I'm finally getting back to my goddamn point. It's all ordained. This is what happened. If America is Babylon, and it speaks of her as she gave birth to something. The ideologies in all of the other nations, the way that they do things, all of that shit is sold into one. But because it's always an eternal battle, you know what I'm saying? Imagine, to put it in some kind of a context, imagine evil men, or an evil man, and he had 10 sons. Straight up. Now, he made them all evil. Like himself. And one day, because they war with each other, they won. But one day they said, we tired of you, Father. And just like you taught us, you got to be the most ruthless. So they band together and kill it. Well, Babylon will be that great city. And it's been unleashing hell on other nations because it's the board. Assimilate or die. Take this ideology or die. And they went around and they spread it all throughout the world. America don't make that much shit. It makes a lot of weapons. They arm these people with these weapons. America's one of the biggest arm dealers ever, boy. They also brought you power. They also brought you McDonald's. They also brought you brother. But culturally, if you see what they're taking away and what it's doing to the animals and what they got to do because they done killed a lot of them, they got to put them in a lab and incubate. They incubate food now. Just have it in a petri dish. I'm saying all that shit gonna catch up to us one day. Babylon the Great. She influenced all of the nations. She even taught her ideology to all of the nations. It really is not old. It's the same ideology. It's just a lot of people had broken away from certain things. Some of them had it bad on some of them, but they had broken away from a lot of things. They coming in right now, so they're going to destroy it. And the crazy part is not like you're not going to have a mentality. They want everything to be in chaos so your shit will go to ash so they can rebuild it into something new. And that's people as a whole. Your whole moral system. Everybody's already greedy, and if you can't say that, you don't know much. You just don't know much. But I'm gonna have to get up off here, man. I already probably made it too long.